I'm Keith Olbermann, and this is The Resistance. Donald Trump apparently tried to cover up the actual purpose of a June 2016 meeting between his son-in-law, his campaign manager, and Russian operatives promising official Russian government dirt on Trump's opponent intended to help Trump win the presidency. And his own son has now confirmed this. After a series of stories that largely went under the radar, that appears to be what Special Counsel Robert Mueller is trying to prove right now. A White House cover-up dictated by Trump to hide the real and possibly criminal purpose of that June 2016 meeting. When Donald Trump Jr. submitted his statement about the meeting to staffers of the Senate Judiciary Committee last week, he all but convicted his father of what could easily become an article of impeachment charging cover-up and obstruction of justice. Trump Sr.'s own responsibility, initially revealed matter-of-factly by his own press secretary, was underscored again in Trump Jr.'s statement. Within a day of that statement came the further report that Mueller has told the White House he wants to interview at least 6 staffers, and at least 2 of those were perhaps involved in the events that led to Trump's White House apparent cover-up of the Russia meeting. These stories flashed by in moments that went almost unnoticed, like virtually everything else in the kaleidoscopic, nightmarish blur of this 3-card Monte game of a presidency. But it's really simple stuff. Trump Jr.'s prepared statement included this, quote, Rob Goldston suggested that someone had official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary Clinton and her dealings with Russia, and that the information would be very useful to the campaign. Quoting again, someone had official documents and information. In fact, in his June 3rd email, this Goldston character had described the documents as much more than just official. He wrote to Trump Jr. that the documents had been offered by, quote, the Crown Prosecutor of Russia, and, quote, this is obviously very high level and sensitive information, but is part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump. Thus, Donald Trump Jr. had been told he was being offered documents provided by the Russian government to damage Hillary Clinton and to get his own father elected. Back to Trump Jr.'s statement to the Senate staffers. I thought I should listen to what Rob and his colleagues had to say. To the extent they had information concerning the fitness, character, or qualifications of a presidential candidate, I believe that I should at least hear them out. That would be a textbook admission by Trump Jr. to an attempt to conspire with emissaries of a foreign government. Trump Jr. may not have known the espionage laws of this country, nor the ones precluding foreign contributions, cash or otherwise, to an American campaign, but he knew what he was being offered. And his statement to the Senate staffers means his first public explanation after the revelation of the meeting was at best a lie by omission. It was a short introductory meeting, he said back then. I asked Jared Kushner and Paul Manafort to stop by. We primarily discussed a program about the adoption of Russian children, but it was not a campaign issue at the time, and there was no follow-up. Of course, the real problem with that false July 8th statement was clear. The White House press secretary, Ms. Sanders, confirmed on the record that it was, quote, weighed in on by Trump. Meanwhile, it was reported that, in fact, the president composed the entire initial false statement. Flying home from Germany on July 8 aboard Air Force One, Trump personally dictated a statement in which Trump Jr. said that he and the Russian lawyer had primarily discussed a program about the adoption of Russian children when they met in June 2016, according to multiple people with knowledge of the deliberations. Whether dictated or just weighed in on, the moment the president influenced the statement on what Trump Jr.'s meeting was about, he figuratively brought that statement into the White House. He brought that lie into the White House. He brought that cover-up into the White House. He brought that meeting into the White House. Whether he weighed in on the statement or dictated it word for word, Trump himself transformed it into an impeachable offense. And he transformed all the events connected to it into potential White House crimes. And in his statement to Senate staffers, Trump Jr. confirmed his father's guilt by confirming that the first statement, the one his father weighed in on or wrote, was false. And that is why Mueller has reportedly asked to interview, in addition to Reince Priebus, Sean Spicer, White House counsel Don McGahn, and Deputy counsel James Burnham, Acting Communications Director Hope Hicks, and possibly another White House press aide named Josh Raffel. And Hicks and Raffel are the headliners here. Why? They, quote, were involved in internal discussions in July over how to respond to questions about the June 2016 meeting. The two communications staffers advocated being transparent about the purpose of the meeting. Of course, as we know from the first false statement that Trump Jr. issued in July, the one his father either dictated or weighed in on, they were apparently overruled. What Mueller is apparently trying to do with Hicks and Raffel is similar to what he's apparently doing with the White House counsel McGahn. Show how a crime occurred in real time. As reported, there is step-by-step evidence that McGahn, by the way, McGahn and Priebus reportedly just hired one of the top white-collar crime lawyers in Washington. McGahn stopped Trump from sending the first draft of Trump's letter firing James Comey because of Russia. In this part of the case, Mueller is trying to show how another crime occurred in real time by proving Hicks and Raffel told Trump, be transparent about your son's meeting, and maybe even warned him Junior's meeting might have been a crime, and Trump went ahead and did the wrong thing anyway. In both cases, Mueller is going for the legal equivalent of closed-circuit security video, showing Trump being told not to break the law, showing Trump ignoring that advice, showing Trump then breaking the law anyway. If Mueller can do this just once, let alone in both events, Trump is finished. And remember also, for months, everything that Trump Jr. and the Trump gang have said about that Russian meeting has quickly proved to be a lie. In March 2017, Trump Jr. told the New York Times that while he may have had meetings with people from Russia, quote, certainly none that I was representing the campaign in any way, shape, or form. On July 9th, 2017, Trump Jr. issued a second statement which indicated that his July 8th, 2017 statement was not the truth. On July 11th, 2017, Trump Jr. released the email chain about the 6-person meeting. And when Sean Hannity asked him, so far as you know, as far as this incident is concerned, this is all of it? Trump Jr. answered, this is everything, this is everything. And 3 days later, it wasn't. A Russian lobbyist with ties to Putin revealed he was also at the meeting, even though Trump Jr. never mentioned that, nor the fact that there weren't 6 people there were 8. On July 12th, Trump's lawyer, Jay Sekulow, told Chris Cuomo that the president was not involved in drafting Trump Jr.'s first statement. On July 16th, Sekulow repeated this to Chuck Todd. Quote, the president was not involved in the drafting of that statement. But on July 31st, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Trump's press secretary, said of the statement, quote, the president weighed in as any father would. He certainly didn't dictate, but like I said, he weighed in, offered suggestion like any father would do. Trump Jr. lied at least once about whether or not there was a meeting. He lied at least once about what the meeting was about. He lied at least once about how many people were at the meeting. He lied about having revealed everything about the meeting. Sekulow possibly lied twice about Trump at least contributing to the writing of the statement. If the Washington Post reporting about Trump writing the statement is correct, Huckabee Sanders apparently lied about Trump not dictating it. And Trump himself, each time he dismissed the meeting as unimportant, he lied. Each time he declared the Russian scandal a witch hunt, fake news, an excuse made up by Democrats, he has lied and lied and lied and lied and lied. Happily, his own son has now caught him in one of those lies, and in so doing brought the cover-up of some of the lies directly into the White House and into the purview of the special counsel Mueller. And it is Mueller who will bring these lies to the House Committee on the Judiciary when it inevitably takes up its constitutional responsibility and impeaches this serial and criminal liar. Resist, remove, peace. My book, based on more than 100 of these commentaries, will be released on October 17th, and you can pre-order it now if you wish. Thank you in advance.